Hello everybody, welcome into the greenhouse for a really simple project. I was at the Canadian Tire yet again looking at those Black Friday sales. I found something that I thought was pretty intriguing. There are these Pelican 45 or Pelican Snow Trek 45 ice fishing sleds that they've got, and they're currently like 24 bucks, and they're basically the same size as the big plastic grow bed that I paid $50 for. In fact, these guys are a little bit deeper than that. So we picked up two of them for the same price as the one grow bed, and today I'm going to convert one of them so it's good to go and get started over the winter, and the other one I'll take care of in the spring. Before we get too far into it, I mean, here is the one that I paid $50 for at Better Than Nature, which is a hydroponic grow supply store. It's a pretty flimsy plastic. You know, you can compare it to my thumb there. It's not terribly thick, and as you can see, it bowed out on me. I'm not very happy with it at all, and it's not terribly deep. This, although that's backward, Pelican brand, is pretty hard to push out, considerably deeper, and you know, basically the perfect shape. So I'm going to give this a try as a grow bed because it's, you know, half the price of the other one, and ultimately I'm about getting more space in here for more veg. Let's get started. So basically the plan is to just extend my pump out across the compost heater. I'll bring it back, feed it into this tank, and then this will be a constant level tank for right now, and I can just let it gravity feed from underneath there back over into the fish tank, where I'm going to set it up with another one of those little whirlpool drains because I am loving the aeration coming out of that simple system. Here's the bit that always makes me a little bit nervous because I'm taking something that is currently just fine and breaking it. So I gotta drill a hole in the bottom of this for a drain, and we'll get back to you. I'm gonna be using this recycled bulkhead fitting, and that means I'm gonna need to cut a 1.5 inch hole in the bottom of my sled. Now, if I was making this to be a flood and drain bed, I'd want to put my hole closer to the center because I just have this funny feeling it'll drain better. I've had some problems with the ones at the end in my other two beds. But since this is going to be a constant flow, I'm going to have the intake at the far end here where I've got these convenient little divots that look like they'll fit my 1/2 inch irrigation pipe quite well. I'm just going to take the water out at the other end so I'm sure it travels the entire length of the bed. Apologize for the sound here, it's not that great. When you're drilling through these plastics with a hole saw, once you get your pilot hole in, it's always a good idea just to do it backwards. You'll get a smoother cut and not going to break your wrist. As you can see, I've got a nice smooth hole there. I made a lot of nasty ones before I learned hit and reverse makes all the difference in the world. Just take the towel, give it a quick wipe down to get rid of any little bits of plastic that might have popped out in there. Now that my hole is ready and my bulkhead fitting has been taken apart, I'm just going to make sure I've got the thick rubber washer up on the top, and that is pretty much a perfect fit. We'll go underneath, again making sure that the washer is up. Now that we're down here, we'll just put that on, screw that into place, or try anyway. Now these are reverse threaded, so gonna want to remember that when putting them on. And as long as you've got your two rubber seals in there, on the top and on the bottom, hand tight should pretty much do the trick. Alright, well I guess the next thing this needs is a standpipe. This one's probably the wrong height, but I can always cut that down. Just screw that right in there. Nice and snug. Just throw another similar threaded fitting into the bottom, and we're on our way. Alright, so I'm just going to cut up the various bits and lengths that I need to make my drain, and then I'll show you what that looks like when it's all put together. Those of you who follow my videos know it's not going to look like this for long, but here's a look at the first attempt at a drain for my newest bed. There's a standpipe that still needs to be cut down. Flows underneath the table, comes across, resting on a convenient Folgers can. And then, once again, to the T with the open end, because I'm hoping that that will create another aerating whirlpool effect for me. We'll see when I get to that point. Alright, here we go. First fill. Got a little bit of my material in there, but not so much that I can't move it around. Got a little bit of waste in there apparently. We will see how it does. So that is not the cleanest plumbing I have ever done, and clearly I'll need to insulate those pipes. One for the drain as well, I suspect. But what's important to me is that I now have another basically 8 square feet of garden bed when this is finished. Exciting! A lot of these plants here are going to get moved over into the new bed once I'm sure it all works. Because really, I think this is probably better off set up for a floating situation. It's got a nice ledge just inside it there. Styrofoam can sit on that and roots can drift on by. The leaf. Alright, well it's far from finished, but here we have just a basic look at how that ice fishing sled has converted to an aquaponics bed. Obviously, you know, the Folgers cans aren't going to stay in there, but it's a good way to take up space until I go get more pellets or pea gravel or convert this to a floating bed. Alright, there you go. Thank you for watching this quick conversion of a Pelican Snow Trek 45 ice fishing sled into a redneck aquaponic grow bed. Happy harvests, blessed be.